name is la 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 la, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat you. You know.
You can tell. You can tell when someone's trying to remember something
Right.
instead of just
Oh,
going
dude,
off
the
the
eyes.
Right.
You can tell when they're trying to remember.
Right.
You're
You mentioned Road Dogg a couple of times. I got Road Dogg had mentioned that he never understood what the big deal was with Bret Hart. Road Dogg
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said he was a great worker. He said he worked better than me, Road Dogg.
Yeah.
He's like, but I don't think he was a great wrestler. He goes, I thought I was a good wrestler, and
He on his podcast, he said he thought he was actually a better sports entertainer than Bret Hart. And that's
100%. 100%.
Right.
Better sports entertainer.
So
not
what
a
is the
better
big
wrestler.
deal about Bret Hart? Because I mean, I was never a huge fan of Bret Hart myself. I see the greatness,
Yes.
I understand it, but I never gravitated to
Other
it.
than him, Road Dogg is my best friend. We lived together. We did everything. Brian is not afraid to rock the boat. Bret was a fantastic. Bret would have been a Bruno Sammartino if he maybe would have been about 15 years
That
earlier.
makes sense.
Bret is one of the best in-ring wrestlers of all time. No charisma. Perfect example. Look at Lance Storm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. The
Look
guy
at
can go.
yeah, fantastic guys. Chris Benoit.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Fantastic wrestler.
Right.
Not a whole lot of that's why you give them a manager or something, you know? Undertaker.
Bobby
he doesn't
Eaton.
talk.
Bobby, a little bit of Bobby.
Bobby freaking Eaton. My idol. Man.
I thought Hart's mic skills really improved towards the end, though. When he was at Canada, heel, anti-American guy, I thought he really started to improve.
Sure.
Look, Road Dogg was highly entertaining, but as far as ring work, and I don't think it's even close. Right?
Perfect example. I told him recently, we were talking about the Armstrong family, and I was like, yeah, you're second to last. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It goes Brad, Scott, Bullet, Brian, Steve.
Now, did you know Brad at all?
I've wrestled everyone in that
So
family.
can I ask you a question? That's one of the big secrets too. We, growing up, right?
Yes.
Brad Armstrong.
Yes.
You know the
Brad
deal.
Armstrong is.
He passed away of a heart condition too. But what was this a drug-induced problem too?
I don't, maybe not at that time, but a lot of the guys. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to sometimes, especially with working, I can wait till after work to do it, and I didn't really take any steroids because I found out you had to work out if you took them, and I wasn't doing that shit. So I think all the years of stuff, Davey Boy, or all those guys who didn't die of an actual drug overdose, damaged their heart, damaged their insides beyond repair to where it was just like one day.
So it's a combination, not like you do steroids, fine. You do some drugs, fine. But if you're doing both,
Mix everything. It's like
There was a
anything.
lot of that. I mean, it was a combination of
rainbows, too.
both, and on top of drinking.
And on top of drinking, and on top of smashing your body. And I mean, back then, dude, when we got to WWE, the fucking rings, because they had to hold Andre and Yoko and that. It was like taking a bump off. They changed them.
We were used to that spongy WCW ring.
Okay.
Come up
That
there,
shit
it
was
was like
hard
getting
to sound like-
slammed on that damn floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
tell me about you guys starting the USWA and like what was it like there? And one question I have for you too is I don't know if PG-13 was there at that time.
Yes.
But did you work with PG-13 and what were your thoughts on both
Did he ever work-
Wolfie
No.
D?
Yeah, he never
and,
worked USWA.
Oh, I thought you- okay.
When I
Yeah.
first started in Florida, I did a little stuff, and then Steve Kern, my trainer, my Yoda, called Lawler and got me. So I'm like 19, and this is in 89, 90. I go there with Dundee and Eddie Gilbert and Eric Embry. We were doing that big Texas thing. They made me Leatherface after I think it was Brian Lee left. And then I was working a program with Brian Christopher back then. And then I came back after WCW, and that's when Wolfie and Jamie were there.
And how were they?
They were all right. They were young, little guys who had a huge chip on their shoulder. We were in Puerto Rico, and they didn't want to do something. And Jamie came up on the guy, Lele, was one of the wrestlers who's an actual cop, and Lele means the police or something. And he got pissed at him, so he covered his hands in Bengay and went up behind him and like just rammed his fingers and everything with all the Bengay into the guy's eye. And the guy had to go to the hospital. And then he ran and jumped on a plane and flew home. I mean, they're just like the little, you know what I mean? The little guys, but they were all right. Everybody, see, we were lucky. Everybody was always awesome to us because
They were going to get their asses kicked if they
we're
weren't.
giant. We have been told by management a few times to let some of our opponents know that they are in the wrong. A few
Wow,
times.
look at that.
Yeah.
And then Ronnie and Bradshaw took that job over for us.